I was browsing Medium the other day and I came across this article called 6 Money Rules I'll Follow Until I Die. That got me thinking about mine, so I created my own version, then I came up with 6 more, and 6 more, and a few more after that for good measure. So today I bring you my 21 personal finance commandments because I'd rather call them commandments than rules until I die, although I've often seen not having enough money cited as a bigger fear than death for many, but I digress. I agree with this original article that everyone should have a set of money rules or finance principles that they live by, whether you adopt rules of thumb or create your own. It's about finding a balance between saving for the future and spending in the now responsibly. By the way, stick around until the end today because I'm gonna share a one-sheeter that has all 21 of my rules or commandments that I've always followed and I always will follow. Of course, these rules are my own because personal finance is, after all, personal. But I hope by sharing mine, you might find a few that you decide to adopt as your own. Like and subscribe and all that jazz if you like my approach to talking money and appreciate this list. It really does help me out. But with that, let's dive in. Starting with number 1, I'll get paid what I'm worth and spend far less than I earn. I've never hesitated to negotiate pay or ask for what I think I deserve based on performance, and that last part is key. Provide incredible value up front and keep the conversation about your employer's needs, not your personal wants and goals when you ask for more. Pro tip, get the company to name figures first. I'll speak more to reducing expenses and saving the difference in a bit, but I have gotten pretty good at maximizing my savings rate in the last 4 years specifically. Number 2, I'll keep my housing under 25% of my income. Some experts suggest stay under 30, some say 28. I actually calculated mine just before hitting record and it's at 17%, which includes some of our utilities and our parking spot. I'm sure things will change when I buy a house, but you too should aim to keep your housing at or below at least 28%, including utilities, if you can swing it. Next up, number 3, I will buy experiences, not things. I've absolutely learned I get more happiness bang for my buck putting my money towards a concert, a trip, or even a simple picnic in a nearby park rather than some shiny new expensive toy or gadget. I haven't bought a phone in 3 years actually, and I used to be the guy that bought every model day one, no matter what. Stuff loses value, I lose interest in stuff and end up selling it or giving it away, so I'm extra conscious about what I'm buying and how much enjoyment I'll actually get out of it over time. And when I do buy things, I go for quality over quantity. Number 4, I will stay 100% out of bad consumer debt. Here's a bunch of scary data to prove the point here as to why. Only 1 in 4 millennials are debt-free, according to a 2018 Northwestern Mutual survey. 65% of Americans in debt have no idea when they'll shed it, according to the Motley Fool. The average American household has over $15,000 in credit card debt and over $27,000 in auto loan debt. It gets worse. 25% of those in debt think they'll die before they'll ever pay it off. Ouch. And no thanks. Forever. Number 5, I will marry a similarly minded partner when it comes to money. I learned that unfortunately financial opposites actually attract, so I feel personally lucky to have found a partner that values saving and living below our means as well. As a bonus here, I will talk openly and honestly about money with my partner, friends, and family, and apparently strangers twice a week here on YouTube. Number 6, I'll save half of my post-tax income because save and invest half, retire twice as fast. It's very difficult, admittedly at first, to get to a 50% savings rate. I definitely didn't do it overnight, and it actually took me to 2019 to first achieve this. But start at 20% and increase your savings rate 5% each year as a goal until you hit 50% if you can. But don't just save, invest. I find this is the fastest way to grow your wealth and get on the path to financial independence and freedom. Number 7, I will spend on the real me, not the imaginary me. It's easy to fall into the trap of buying for the person you want to be, an Iron Man, a top chef, a runway model, or to keep up with the Joneses next door. There will always be someone who is more successful than you, and there'll always be someone that's worse off. Everyone has different lifestyles and goals. It benefits no one though to compare yourself to others. Just keep moving forward in your own personal journey and keep learning from your victories and mistakes, one step and one day at a time. Number 8, I will never rely solely on one source of income. I'm actually aiming to build 8 streams of steady income this year. And in my next video, I'm gonna break down how I've earned over $8,000 in passive income in the first half of the year and my plans for the second half. So subscribe if you haven't and you wanna be in the know about that one. Number 9, I will confidently say no. No, I don't need extra guac. No, I don't need to go to the bars and blow money just because it's Friday night. No, I don't need extra crazy car rental insurance or the newest TV or to go shopping with friends just because there's a sale. No is a beautiful word. It's $1 million word, almost literally. Number 10, I will always set ambitious financial goals, but I won't beat myself up if I come up short. Saving half is a big goal. So is earning $30,000 in passive income this year alone. I'm on track for $17,000 though, and that's still fantastic. I also want to get to a net worth of $200,000 by the end of the year and $250,000 at a minimum by the end of next year. I'd like to put down 20% on a house so I can avoid PMI. This might be the toughest one of all, but the point is I have specific goals, big goals, some even bigger than these that I might share someday. Number 11, I'll never stop learning all things personal finance. The more you learn, the more you earn. Plus, rules and legislation change annually, so keep up or you might get left behind or even make a costly mistake. Not to mention, learning builds on learning and compounds, a lot like compound interest. I find 1 + 1 can equal 3 when it comes to financial literacy. I first became obsessed with YouTube for my learning. Then I discovered a ton of personal finance books that opened up my eyes. And by the way, I always list my 10 favorites in the description below. Number 12. I will give $50 a month at a minimum. There are so many easy ways to donate, from dropping off goods and clothes to Goodwill, to setting up a recurring $50 monthly donation to a charity that means a lot to you. If you're at a place financially where you can't spare any extra money, try to at least spend a few hours a month donating your time. Philanthropy is a good reminder that while you're working on yourself, there are always people out there that are less fortunate than you, and we can all afford to give a little. Number 13, I'll follow my why of FI. Your why of money or financial independence is like your compass. My why is freedom, flexibility, and family. Always start with the end in mind when it comes to your finances. This isn't just goals, by the way. This is the big picture. It's your dreams. It's your biggest aspirations in life, and it's how soon can you do it. Number 14, I'll be consistent and have no 0 days. This means no days off from doing something, anything that has to do with being responsible with my money. However, if I do miss a day or make a financial mistake, I flex to the 2-day rule, which means I can miss 1 day, but I can never miss 2. Yes, even on the weekend, you should check your accounts, make a debt payment, side hustle, pay back a friend, and so on, especially the weekend, in fact. Number 15, I will bank at least 90% of all financial windfalls. A windfall is new, unexpected money, like a bonus from work. I literally found, by the way, $10 last week on the ground at a ball game, and instead of buying another slice of pizza or an extra beer, I put it in my pocket where I promptly forgot about it, and it made its way home with me. That all said, if you experience a windfall and have any bad consumer debt, I would say throw 100% of that windfall towards the debt. Number 16, I'll never lose sight of my numbers, because what doesn't get measured gets missed. Now, I don't have a strict budget where I track every dollar, but I do have an annual planner I fill out once a year, which is on screen now. Feel free to make a copy of this and use it for yourself. I'll put the link on screen, also in the description below. I also track shared expenses and my monthly passive income. These 3 sets of numbers take very little time to update, and they keep me on track. They also help me find any overcharges, any unnecessary expenses, and the occasional membership or subscription I forgot to cancel. Number 17, I'll always look for or ask for a discount. Look, if it's $1 at the grocery store, I'm not clipping coupons, but otherwise, I do use the plugin Honey to help me find discount codes. I look for a new customer sign-up offer. I call when a price doesn't look right online. Now, half the time it doesn't work to pick up the phone and ask for a discount, but you know what? Half the time it does. Just ask. You might be surprised the next time you do it. Number 18, I will not eat out more than once a week. Now, this actually used to be once a month, but that became too restrictive, so I adjusted it to once a week. There are actually times where getting something affordable and healthy, and yes, that does exist, and yes, I know it's hard to find, can save you time and money. It saves you a trip to the store, it saves you cleanup, but we don't pay for delivery ever, and we don't get more than 1 drink if we sit down for a meal. As a bonus, I will bring my lunch to work every single day. This is very easy while working from home, but for a decade, I ate out for lunch every day. I actually found and eliminated this latte factor years ago, and it has easily saved me $5,000 or more since. Number 19, I will always own a two-wheeler that can get me from point A to point B. We currently share one car between us, and I also own a Vespa. And getting my motorcycle license and that bike instead of replacing my totaled car was one of the best financial decisions I've made. That too easily has saved me thousands of dollars the last few years. I'll always have it, even if we have a family someday and decide to get a second car. It's cheaper to use daily, it's fun, and it's better for the environment. And if you want all the details on the Vespa, watch this Vespa video next. This can also be, for you, a regular bike as well. Number 20, I'll aim to max out all of my tax advantage retirement accounts available to me. I invest, by the way, in the total stock market, buy all the stocks, not just a handful. At the very least, I'll invest in the top 500 companies. I also talked all about this and investing in this recent video, Goals in Your 30s. So check that one also out next if you haven't seen it. Number 21, I will document my finance journey. This is part of the reason I started a YouTube channel in the first place. It's part of the reason I've written 2 books. Yes, I sincerely hope to help others that'll listen. I love the community here, especially in the comments, but I also do this for me, if I can be honest. Making these videos helps me check off several commandments on this list consistently. Plus, I can't wait to look back on these videos someday and rewatch this journey. Remember what I was learning and remember the kind of person I was. It keeps me grounded and honest, it keeps me learning, and it helps me grow. Truthfully, starting a YouTube channel was one of the best decisions I've made. So if you're considering one, I say go for it. All right, that's the full list. My 21 finance commandments I followed in the past, the present, and will continue in the future following on my path towards financial freedom. You can download a one-sheeter with all 21 commandments at the link here on screen, which I'll also of course drop in the description below, and I'll pin it to the top of the comments. Let me know your favorite or favorites from today and any rules that you personally follow that didn't make my list. As I said, I love talking honestly, and I don't pretend to know it all, but I love reading your comments and interacting with you guys. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to hang out more often. My name is Frankie, this is The Money Resolution. Thank you as always for getting to the end today, and I hope to see you in a few days on the next one. Thanks.